5D Mystery School.
Peace, and welcome back to 5D Mystery School. Today we have another astrological analysis. Okay, so we're just going to be talking about a few different things here because we have some important transits coming up. Okay, right now we are in the Mercury retrograde shadow period. Mercury retrograde will start on July the 18th and it will go until August the 11th. Okay. And we do have another Mercury retrograde after that, that is going to be from November 9th to November the 29th. Okay. So we also have a Neptune retrograde coming up as well. That's going to start on July the 4th. Yes, you heard me. July the 4th. That's pretty important if you ask me. Okay. So, first things first, right now, so I have the chart pulled up for America, aka, oh Lord, the ghetto. And right now, America's having Jupiter return. Okay. Now, this is just for clarification. This is the modern chart of the USA. This is when the USA was founded as a corporation or whatever you want to call it. This isn't really a testament to the ancient America, but that's a whole nother discussion. All right. So right now, Jupiter return. Okay. We have Mars in the 10th house here. That's going to be pretty important. I'll tell you why in a second. We have Lilith in the 12th house, the rebellious Lilith. We have Pluto retrograding in the third house. We have Neptune that's going to be retrograding in the fifth house. And eventually, Saturn is going to be retrograding in the fifth house as well. Okay. Now, what should we get to first? Saturn is going to be from July the 13th until November the 27th. You heard that right. July the 13th until November the 27th. Okay. Neptune is going to be from July the 4th until December the 10th. And when they go direct, they will go back into Aries, but they're going to go retrograde into Pisces, which is important. But they're going to go back into Aries, and Neptune's going to stay there until, let's see, it's 2025, so 2037, and Saturn is going to stay there until around 2028. Okay. It's pretty important. Late should it be like late 2027, 2028? Saturn normally stays around 2.5 to 3 years. Okay. So first things first, let's talk about this Jupiter retrograde. And just for transparency, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I like to keep these analysis that I put on YouTube very basic because I don't want to get anybody lost in the sauce. Okay. Don't want to get anybody lost in the sauce. All right. So let's get to it. A few trending themes that you're going to see for Jupiter return will be discussing fertility issues. That's going to be an increase. Funny is the day after I posted something on Twitter about the themes for Jupiter and Cancer, the next day, the very next day, they had on the news fertility discussions, right? Astrology never lies, man. Home foreclosures. Going to see a lot of home foreclosures. Real estate crisis could be looming, especially if Jupiter goes retrograde. Okay. Now, I believe the last real estate crisis we had was in like 2020. or no, 28, 2008. Okay. So November the 11th to March the 10th, I would look out for some type of housing, crisis, real estate crisis from November the 11th to March the 10th, 2026. I would look out for that situation to occur. Religious crusades. This means like an increase in church camps, talking about religion publicly, right? Public baptisms, baptizing people in the ocean, baptizing people in the rivers, the lakes, openly calling people to baby Jesus in a little manger. Rebirth of religion, home churches. You know how there are home schools. Well, I would look for home churches to be a thing. People really leaving the big establishment of church and getting the pastors rich and hosting churches in their backyard. I would look for that to happen. Foreign intelligence like drones, automobiles, right? Those attack from foreigners, I will look out for. Attack from foreigners is something to look out for, especially when it comes to the money systems, banks, um, like cyber attacks with banks, like stealing people's monies. It could happen with companies like PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, like those type of companies I would really pay attention to, right? I did a video not too long ago. It was an astrological analysis where I was talking about um before Trump even got into office, I was talking about Trump's like his presidency is really going to depend on their relationship with Iran. If anybody can find that video, because sometimes I don't remember which videos they are, but I specifically talked about Trump's relationship with Iran before, I think this was actually before he was even got elected, right? So now look at what's happening with Iran. When I'm using astrology, these aren't guesses. I'm literally reading the makeup of the stars. The stars foretell what will happen, just like the ancients did. Okay. So with that being said, Neptune is going to be retrograded on July the 4th. So on July the 4th, I will be weary. I talked about this in another video, specifically about July the 4th. I think I posted this video earlier this year, and I was looking at the chart for July the 4th. Okay. And you're going to have Neptune retrograding in the fifth house. Now, why is this important? Because you're going to have Neptune squaring Jupiter with the orb of three. Neptune squaring Jupiter. Saturn squaring Jupiter. What this could cause explosions, firework mishaps, people setting their homes on fire by accident. Neptune causes a lot of confusion. This could literally like take somebody's lives. But also, this could be an day for an attack from foreigners, July the 4th. I talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again. This will be a key day to watch out for when it comes to attacks from foreigners, especially because it's the day that Neptune goes retrograde and is going to be squaring Jupiter in the eighth house of death. Neptune also is the bringer of death. Okay. It's going to be happening in the fifth house. The fifth house is usually ruled by Leo. Bright lights is ruled by, this chart is ruled by Aries. Still, fire in a house of bright lights. This could cause massive explosions, especially mishaps with fireworks. That's that's really something to look out for. Okay. Pluto is also retrograding in Aquarius. Not a ideal time to be in crowds. Aquarius represents groups of crowds. Pluto is representing mental death, physical death, spiritual death, rebirth, right? So when Pluto is retrograding in Aquarius in the third house, this can be people driving through crowds with automobiles, right? People getting ran over by automobiles on 4th of July, fireworks mishaps, explosions at key sites, especially with Neptune involved here. I would look, levees, places that hold a lot of water, dams. Okay. And if you look at the degree Neptune, and by the way, this is all freestyle. I don't have anything written down. I'm reading this at the same time that you are looking at it. Okay. I didn't even plan on doing this video today, but something told me to do this video today. So, and with Saturn retrograding, oh boy, what house? Saturn is ruling the second house. Saturn's going to be at the first degree, an Aries degree. Oh Lord. So I would pay attention to what we consider old monuments here in the United States, especially old monuments by water, right? I would say the main thing to look out for would be explosions, especially with what I'm looking at here. What degree is Pluto going to be at? Pluto's going to be at the third degree. Mm. Drones. Pluto's ruling the 12th house of death. Oh, Lord. Mm. And we have Mars in a 10th house. So this could definitely be an attack, right? Not saying that it's going to happen, but Mars is in the same house, transit in the same house where Neptune is at the 22nd degree. This could be in inside job. Where's Uranus? Uranus, oh Lord, Uranus is going to be at the 29th degree, almost entering into Gemini. Let me remind you, in the past, when Uranus has entered Gemini, I spoke about this before. There's something that happens when Uranus enters into Gemini. World War II, you might have heard about it. You might have heard about it. When Uranus was in Gemini, the last time was World War II. Mm. So, if there were sleeper cells here in the United States that's planning an attack on or around July the 4th, that could be the spark for World War III. Hmm? Yeah. Let's not forget that we are still in the Pluto return for the United States. Don't let that go anywhere near over your cranium. We are still in that window of a Pluto return. Neptune is going to be opposing natal Neptune, right, at the 22nd degree. Not saying that there's going to be an attempt on the president's life, but there could be with this placement. There could be. Very well could be. And if that were to happen, forget about it. We're just going to be all, not saying it's going to happen, but there is a likelihood that that could happen, especially with Neptune opposing this natal Neptune at the 22nd degree. Something to watch out for. Okay. Now, you're going to have this Uranus, the natal Uranus, squaring Mars. The seventh house here, this is the house of open enemies. Okay. This is the house of open enemies. And this Mars is going to be at the ninth degree, which could open us up for attack from foreigners with the ninth degree there. And with this Uranus at the eighth degree, again, I would not be out in crowds. I would not be out in crowds, especially on July the 4th. Uranus at the eighth degree in Gemini and a Mercury deacon, man, you can very well get ran over by an automobile, hit with the drone strike. Something else I would look out for during the next year. Now, there is a window here for another baby boom. Like people being incentivized somehow to have babies, especially, specific people who maybe aren't having children as much. But during the window of November the 11th, what I say, to March the 10th, there can be some type of um, disease that really targets children. All right. That really targets children, causing chest problems, lung problems, neck problems, heart problems. Okay. Interestingly enough, Venus is right on the tail of Uranus. Venus, represents beauty, love, wealth, relationships, but also war. Also war. Let's not forget. So we're really going to have to keep our eye on this transit of Uranus going into the seventh house. Look, I hope that it's all peachy, right? If you want to look on the bright side, Uranus going into the seventh house with Neptune could bring in the return of orgies, right? People really talking about relationships on social media and polygamy, polyamory. Those discussions can really return on the internet with these two going into the seventh house, right? Hmm. Yeah, man. With this Mars here in the 10th house, I will keep my eyes on the Capitol. I'll keep my eyes on the White House. Could bring fire to their doorstep. America's going through her Chiron return right now. All right. Which is truly an open window to be, you know, for lack of better words, publicly wounded, like crippled in a way that America hasn't been crippled before, especially because at the same time, simultaneously, it's having her Pluto return, which if you know anything about Pluto, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, hello? How long ago was that? Have you been paying attention? What else do we got here? Okay. So on that day, the sun is going to be squaring Saturn. The sun in Cancer, Cancer not only represents the home, but it represents security, right? Security over land in the United States, the home front, homeland security. It's going to be squaring Saturn in Libra in the 11th house, which could be a window for a weak point to be discovered and having problems with security. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's a high probability that there can be a weak point discovered in the structure, the infrastructure of America that allows for an attack from an open enemy, Libra. This could be a cyber attack as well. With all this happening in the fifth house, could be lights out, like a blackout as well. There's a multitude of possibilities here. But I think it's very symbolic that on the day of July 4th, Neptune is going to be retrograde. Let's hope no church catch on fire, especially like older churches, right? Older cathedrals. Neptune represents cathedrals, monasteries, churches. Jupiter does as well, right? And Neptune's going to be squaring Jupiter. So these are just a few things to look out for. Okay. Let's hope none of this happens. But I just want to give you a quick update. It's been a while since I released one of these videos. This was a true freestyle, might be a little bit all over the place. You might have to listen back to it one good time for your mind. I didn't feel like being on camera. So I just wanted to show you this. All right. If you like this video, man, if you want to see more videos like this, leave some love in the comments, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're here and this is like the second or third video you watch, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I truly appreciate it. It really helps the channel. Okay. I will see you all in the next video. I would do my best to start releasing more of these. I'm doing a lot of readings and some other creative work that's been keeping me away from doing these videos, but I'm back. one time for your mind. Tell your mama I said hi, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love, y'all. Peace out.
5D Mystery School.